In today's video, I've been shapeshifted and have to survive 100 days as an evoker. There's one issue. I've been placed onto a planet filled with mythical creatures. Can I put a stop to all evil? Will I be able to survive the challenges put in front of me? And what superpowers will I obtain? Stay tuned to find out. Also, make sure to subscribe to be a part of the team. And just like that, our journey begins now. On day 1, I spawned on top of a massive mountain. I honestly don't have any idea where I am, but I figured it'd be a good idea to start gathering a bunch of wood. I then combined a stick with some oak logs to create my evoker wooden sword. As you guys can see, this evoker wooden sword makes it so I take 0 fall damage. That is going to come into handy. Although having no fall damage is pretty cool, having a better sword is a lot better in my opinion. So we crafted the evoker stone sword and I found some cows nearby. And whenever I shift right click, I get my own guard dog that spawns. Now that is awesome. The rest of day 1 was spent gathering seeds, and then I spent the next couple days traveling for a good location to build my base. On day 4, I found a giant tree on top of a hill, so I figured that would be a pretty cool place to build my base, and I also got a bunch of sand. Now that I have sand to smelt into glass, I went ahead and spent the next couple days designing my awesome witch hut base. I figured a witch hut type base would look pretty cool as I am a mage slash evoker, so it kind of fit the whole theme. After designing my base, I looked outside the window and saw a pelican looking like it was flying with like a note in its mouth or something. And shortly after, I noticed the pelican was outside of my base and it looked like it delivered me a book. I wonder what this could be. It just kind of walked away. I went ahead and picked up the book, and the book read,
"If you want to have any sort of feasible life, then you will obey my orders. First, you will bring me 5 raw meat, 7 water bottles, and 10 feathers. You can find me by traveling far east."
Well, the book said his name was Bakshi the Tiki Shaman. I mean, I guess I can bring him some stuff, but I hope he doesn't make this like a regular thing. So just like that, I began gathering all the materials that I needed to give to the shaman. I had to find a bunch of pigs, chickens, and I already had a bunch of glass from earlier. After gathering all the materials I needed to bring to the shaman, I smelted up my food for the journey, and I admired my beautiful Badline cosmetics, linked in the description below. And on day 11, after traveling far east, a building in the distance started to render in. This must have been where the Tiki Shaman lives. The closer I got to this building, the more anxious I became. I was starting to get a little bit nervous. I went ahead and entered this temple-like build. There seemed to be a bunch of trees that were grown inside. This has definitely got to be the shaman's lair. After admiring the aesthetic of this temple, Bakshi appeared in the middle and seemed to be floating.
"At last, Painful the young and upcoming evoker. I believe you have some things for me."
Yeah, I actually do. I have all the supplies you requested. Here you go.
"Perfect. Now begun."
Okay, Bakshi, there's no need to chase me. I'm getting out of here. I don't know about this, guys, but I'm getting a very bad feeling about this guy. He just has that evil sense to him. I then decided to spend the next 3 days mining, so after a little bit of traveling, I finally found my first cave. And while I was in the cave, I gathered a bunch of coal, iron, and this zombie tried to kill me. Yeah, good thing I've got a guard dog that literally helps me, so that actually helped me quite a bit. And after eliminating that one last zombie, I went ahead, smelted up all of my armor, and after smelting it, created a full set of iron armor. And after creating my set, I went ahead and created my evoker iron sword, and as you can see, when I shift left click, I can shoot water orbs at my enemies, and it actually does pretty good damage, so I'll take that. As I was leaving the cave, this pelican was here again, and he seemed to have dropped another book. Inside the book, it read,
"Painful the young and upcoming evoker. This is my island. I'm the boss. I make the rules around here. Anybody seen wearing armor and wielding weapons is a known threat. Surrender your items immediately or there will be consequences."
This guy seems like bad news. I'm not gonna let this guy push me around. You know what? Tell Bakshi I don't take orders from him.
He will not be pleased. I suggest you sleep with your eyes open.
Well, I don't know if I made the right decision, but looks like the pelican's gonna go deliver the message. And I went ahead and spent the next 3 days traveling back to base, and while I was on my way back to base, I found this sort of tribal camp that looked to be affiliated with Bakshi the Shaman. And as anyone would in this situation, I ran for the hills. I had a huge group of people with spears trying to kill me, so I decided to get out of here. And on day 20, I finally arrived back at base, and just when I thought everything was good, I went up the stairs and found a sign that seemed to be in Arabic writing. I had no idea what this meant. I didn't really care too much about the sign, honestly. I destroyed the sign and began working on creating a farm because I need a fully established food source as I am running pretty low on food. And in the evening, after creating my watermelon farm and seed farm, I went to bed, and as soon as I woke up in the morning, I opened up my door and walked outside, and suddenly I got teleported to what seemed to be the Bakshi temple again. Wait, what? How did I just get here? Oh no, that's Bakshi.
You have been summoned. Surrender your items or be buried.
You may be able to talk down to other mages, but I'm not just gonna sit here and be harassed.
You'll regret this. Stop!
Okay, quick, I gotta get out of here. What? It's Bedrock. Oh, okay. I guess we're gonna have to fight him. And just like that, the fight began. I went up and got a couple hits, blocking my shield to dodge some of the fireballs, and I summoned my guard dog to help. He then suddenly jumped up in the air and butt slammed the ground. Okay, that was unexpected. I noticed that he summoned all these green particles on the ground. Yeah, I definitely should not walk in those. I got a few more hits onto him, and suddenly he summoned lightning, which killed my guard dog. The good thing is I can summon more of them. And after almost getting butt slammed again, I backed up and noticed there were slime blocks on the ground. I'm not sure how that happened. And after blocking some more fire, I tried to run away and accidentally stepped in the green particles, which gave me the wither effect, which almost killed me. We were both so low, but I managed to block that fireball, and I launched one last water orb to take down Bakshi, the Tiki Shaman.
This isn't over.
And after defeating Bakshi, he dropped 4 Tiki cloth and a Tiki staff. And as you can see, this Tiki staff has granted me abilities like launching this huge piece of fire. I can also call upon lightning. And if that wasn't enough, I can also summon an asteroid from above that blows up. After testing the abilities, I randomly got teleported into some sort of tribal camp again. It seemed like it could be the same one that I found earlier. I didn't want to take my chances and die. There was too many of them. As you guys can see, they're just everywhere. I used a few of my abilities, but I ran away because I didn't want to die. Anyways, after a couple days of running away from that tribe, I ended up running into some sort of base on top of a hill. I definitely need to see what this is. Hello, sir. I'm Painful. Nice to meet you.
Howdy, partner. The name's Hank Williams. Now, what in tarnation brings you here?
To put it shortly, I was attacked by a tribe and somehow I just ended up here.
This place is no joke. I've heard rumors of there being a water elemental in our surrounding area. Keep an eye out, brother.
Okay, well, thanks for the heads up, Hank.
Tread carefully, brother.
Well, that Hank guy seemed to be a pretty nice guy. I spent the next couple days traveling back to my base and saw these massive trees. I thought that was pretty cool. And on day 27, I found myself getting lost in a snowstorm, and I found this huge nether-looking area with lava and water spewing out of the ground. I was definitely getting a bad vibe from this place. Anyways, I got jumped by a spider, but that was no issue, as you can see. As I approached closer, I noticed that the water and lava was coming from fire and water elementals, and they were not friendly, so I had to do what I can to take them out. I started by summoning my obsidian from above, smashing him in the ground, and I was able to take him down, but another one came at me, so I had to make sure to keep my distance and use my abilities accordingly. And after battling for quite a few minutes, I was able to defeat these 2 fire elementals, and they descended into the ground, and I noticed in the distance there was some water elementals, so we had to get started. And as I'm fighting this water elemental, I thought to myself that this is a lot easier than the fire elementals. At least the water doesn't burn you. After defeating all of the elementals, I decided it's a good idea to pursue this base and see what kind of loot I could find. First, I just found some potion supplies, which is actually going to really come into handy because I'm going to need those later. I also went ahead and borrowed all of the brewing stands, and in another chest I found a book with a bunch of food, which was good. Anyways, the book read,
My minions protect the surrounding area. My sources say that some sort of EVOKER mage that took out Bakshi, the Tiki Shaman. If you see him, take him out.
And that was written by Lavish the Water Elemental. That must be the water elemental that Hank was referring to earlier. I need to find this thing and put a stop to it. And before leaving, I went ahead and gathered all of the netherwort that was surrounding this entire area and gathering all the soul sand. I was going to need this to brew up all my potions. And after a couple days of travel through this majestic looking area, I ended up making it back to base on day 30. I noticed that all of my crops had fully grown, so I went ahead and harvested all of my watermelon, all of my seeds, and I decided to expand my seed farm, and I created a netherwort farm that kind of looped around the whole backside of my base. I dedicated the next 5 days to a big mining trip because I need to get some diamond armor. Over the 5 days, we ended up getting a bunch of coal, lapis, and of course, a ton of diamonds. While I was mining, I also found myself running into a skeleton spawner room, so I went ahead, used some of my abilities to take down some of the skeletons. I then looted the chest, found a couple more diamonds, diamonds, a fire protection book, and some golden apples. I decided it'd be best to not break this spawner, as I can potentially use this as his mob spawner room to get a bunch of experience later on. I then went ahead and crafted my full set of diamond armor. I also created myself a diamond pickaxe. After gathering some obsidian, I then traveled back to my base. On day 39, I arrived back at my base and I wanted to start some more construction. As you can see, I started by tearing out the back wall and started expanding that out. My goal for this build is I wanted to create a nice little brewing room and have some sort of little armory. I decided to keep the oak wood and oak plank aesthetic. I figured it looks really good and it resembles a witch hut. From days 42 to 43, I went ahead and made my enchantment table and I decided to enchant all of my armor. And as you guys can see, I ended up getting full protection 1 on every piece of armor. Now that's pretty lucky. And I spent the rest of the time brewing up some potions because I knew I was going to need potions if I was going to take down this lavish water elemental guy. Now that I was fully geared up and enchanted and had potions, I spent the next few days traveling looking for Lavish the water elemental. After a few days of travel on day 48, I saw a bunch of lava and water coming out of the ground. I knew this had to be a bunch of fire and water elementals that we had fought in earlier. The only difference this time is the fire elemental and water elementals aren't actually protecting a base. They're protecting something else, which we'll have to find that out shortly. After defeating the fire elementals, there was just a few more water elementals that I had to take care of, so I went ahead and used some of my abilities to help me take them out, and as you can see, they disintegrated into the ground. As I walked up, it looked like they were defending some sort of blue portal. I knew I had to go through if I was gonna find Lavish. So just like that, I jumped through the portal, and as you can see, this is some sort of like blue majestical forest. After spending day 49 gathering a bunch of supplies, on day 50, I finally had enough materials to start creating a mini base inside this majestical world. Also, make sure to subscribe if you're enjoying so far. After creating my base, I went ahead and started traveling around this majestical world in attempts to find Lavish the water elemental.
Okay, really guys? You guys think you're really gonna kill me? I legitimately have a tiki shaman staff with special abilities. Just give up already.
And on day 55, after a few days of traveling, I had finally found what looks to be Lavish. He was a massive water elemental. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little bit nervous, but we gotta do this. Let's go.
Well, Lavish, we're finally face to face. You're a hard person to find. Although your water elementals and fire elementals were pretty easy, I'm not gonna lie.
What's a little wannabe mage like you gonna do to a legend like me?
Well, you're about to find out.
I went ahead and popped my speed and strength potions and Lavish threw a massive tidal wave past me. Good thing that didn't hit me. To start the fight, I unleashed all of my abilities on him, which didn't really seem to do that much damage. So with my tiki staff, I went in and got a bunch of hits. The good thing is my tiki staff was very effective and I was able to do quite a lot of damage. After messing up this water bucket clutch, I nearly died, landing on 2 hearts. Yeah, we've really got to watch out for those tidal waves. I then unleashed all of my evoker abilities on him once again, and after a few more hits, he suddenly shifted into the floor.
Okay, wait, where did he go? Wait, it looks like he summoned a bunch of mini versions of him, like minions or something.
And indeed, I was correct. He summoned a bunch of water elemental minions, and when they died, they like shifted into the floor. That was really strange. As I was trying to get towards them, they kept launching tidal waves at me, doing a ton of damage. I backed up to eat some food to regenerate and noticed that Lavish came back out of the ground. I really needed to take down his minions before they do too much damage to me. There's no way I'm gonna be able to survive with all these minions and Lavish attacking me at once. We gotta get rid of them. I launched another fireball with some lightning, and he suddenly spit out a massive tidal wave, which sent me flying back, but luckily I landed on the hill and didn't take any fall damage. I charged back in and unleashed an insane amount of damage with this tiki staff. This staff really does a lot of damage. After doing a bunch of damage, he suddenly morphed into these little orbs that went into the air and turned into some more water elementals that I had to kill.
Okay, yep, that was unexpected. Oh my gosh.
After defeating the final water elemental minion, Lavish came flying out of the ground. I ate some more food to regenerate and I charged back in with my tiki staff doing a ton of damage, nearly eliminating Lavish. I used the tiki shaman staff abilities once more, and with one final hit, I was finally able to defeat Lavish the water elemental. I just had to kill the one more minion here, and just like that, we have finally defeated everything. Now that's what I'm talking about. Shortly after the whirlpool disappeared, I found 4 elemental spirits, which is going to be used to create my custom armor. After defeating Lavish, I went back through the portal to the overworld and spent the next 3 days traveling back to my base. And after a few days of traveling, I finally arrived back at my base on day 60. And for the next couple days, I harvested all of my farms and expanded them while brewing some potions. On day 62, I wanted to travel back to the mines to go to that spawner we found earlier to get a bunch of levels. And as you guys can see, the farms look pretty good. Nice and expanded. We're all good. Once I arrived on day 63, I spent the day just farming a ton of skeletons. After getting all the experience I needed, I traveled back to my base. Combining my helmet with some tiki cloth and the elemental spirits, I was able to make the custom tiki armor. I also combined my shield with some stone and cobblestone, and I created my tiki shield. And as you can see, I'm now wearing the entire tiki armor set. And the cool thing is, I have special abilities like teleportation. I then enchanted all of my custom armor with some protection 1 and then spent the next 3 days traveling around this mysterious terrain to see if I can find anything else. The great thing is I can now teleport, which is going to make my traveling a lot easier. After traveling around for a few days, on day 70, I found some sort of village, what it seemed to be, but it wasn't a regular village, so I needed to check this out. As I got closer, I saw a bunch of people. I thought they were waving at me, and suddenly they started casting fireballs at me. I then accidentally teleported into all of them and nearly died, so I had to go down and throw a health potion. As they charged up their next attack, I made sure to block it all with my tiki shield. Luckily, this shield is really OP and was able to block that damage. I was blocking as much as I can, but there was so many of them and I was taking so much damage, so I went ahead and used another health potion. I'm down to my last one. I teleport back in to get some more hits, used my final health potion, and then started using a lot of my abilities to try to kill him from a range as I didn't have any more potions. After shooting multiple fireballs and casting tons of lightning, I was finally able to eliminate all of these mages. That was insane. I then saw a chest in the center. I opened it up and there was a book inside. Inside the book it read,
It seems like the little evoker mage isn't going down as easily as I hoped. Lavish, it is your responsibility to eliminate that pest.
Titus the Lavastone Golem. That's a name I haven't heard before. It seems like Titus may be the main source to all this misery. I definitely need to find and eliminate him. And since I ran out of potions, I figured it'd be in my best interest to head back to base and refuel. On day 75, as I returned back to base, I saw a little group of horses outside my base, and I thought this may be the perfect opportunity to capture one. I searched through some of my chests, and I ended up finding a saddle, and I found a lead. I wasn't too sure which horse I wanted to get. They all looked pretty cool, but I thought the black horse looked the best, so I decided to start taming this one. And shortly later, I had finally tamed my horse, I equipped the saddle, and I decided to name our horse Jax. I thought Jax was a really awesome name. I decided to make a fence and put the lead attached to the fence. That way, Jax doesn't run away. And after going to sleep on day 76, I woke up, walked outside my base, and noticed that there was a huge village of mages outside of my base. Since the entire village of mages was at my base, I decided it would be a good idea to build a guard tower above and try to wait them out. I knew there was probably too many to try and kill right now. After sitting up here in my tower for a few days, these mages were really mad. They were not going to leave my base, so I needed to come up with a plan.
Listen, guys, listen. We could do this the easy way or... Oh, okay, yep, going back in. I guess we're doing it the hard way, guys.
Well, since we're playing it the hard way and they have the numbers advantage on me, it's time to craft some smoke bombs. These are going to come into handy. If this village of mages is not gone by the morning, well, it's going to be chaos. So I went ahead and went to sleep, and the next morning I climbed up my watchtower and noticed they were all still outside. I figured it is time.
Well, here goes nothing.
I initiated the fight with a smoke bomb, and then I walked outside and threw a couple more smoke bombs to stun them. Not only does it make it so they can't move, but it also makes it harder for them to see me because of all the particles. After eliminating one, I threw a smoke bomb on a huge crowd of them, and suddenly it hit me really hard. I had to run away and throw down 2 health potions.
Yep, this is a little bit harder than I anticipated, but I think we can do this. Okay, yep, get another potion down, drink some strength and speed, we got this.
After drinking some more potions and eating food to regenerate, I threw a smoke bomb down on a huge group of them, meaning they weren't allowed to move, so this was my chance to get a bunch of damage done. At this point, I was just thinking to myself how thankful I was that I had these smoke bombs that hinder their vision and make it so they can't move. If it weren't for these smoke bombs, I definitely would have been dead. And as you can see, I'm evaporating these mages pretty quickly, launching a fireball and taking a couple of them down, using another smoke bomb and immobilizing the last few opponents. I then casted my obsidian from above and smashed into them, which eliminated the final one. I walked back up to my farm and saw some potions. These must have dropped from the mages, and they seem to be ice potions. And very close by, there was a book on the ground, and it read, Use them wisely, brave soul. Your cunning abilities saved you this time. Splash 3 ice potions with something you admire. It might just look like a shire. This almost seems like a riddle. I then went ahead and harvested all of my netherwort farm and my wheat farm, and after that and replanting it all, I ended up brewing some more potions since those mages made me use a lot of mine. I then had a little 5-day project that I really felt was necessary because I was really running low on storage room and everything like that. So I spent the next 5 days expanding my base and adding this whole additional layer. Not only did I expand my base, but I added a sugarcane farm and potato farm. So as you guys can see, we got a little storage room here. We've got the same brewing area here with the different ladder entrance going up, and I decided to bring the armory in here with the nice storage room. So I'd say that was a fairly good job. And since I upgraded my house, I figured why not give Jax a house? Jax doesn't deserve to live outside underneath my base. So I went ahead and spent the next 3 days building this cool little stable for him to live in.
All right, Jax, check it out. This is your new home. We got some hay bales, we got some wheat, and even some water in here. So hopefully you enjoy it, my man.
As I was going back into my base, I remembered that book with the riddle that said splash 3 ice potions on something you admire. So I figured why not splash the 3 ice potions onto Jax?
All right, Jax, well, I got these potions from the mages, and it said splash it on something you admire. So have a good night, my man.
Then went back in and went to bed. And after waking up in the morning, I wanted to go check up on Jax. Since I did give him some ice potions, I figured I'd need to get him some food too. So when I walked in, I noticed that was not Jax.
Jax? What the heck happened here, bro? Wait, you are literally like an ice horse now. That's actually pretty cool, and it looks like you have ice under your feet?
That's actually, wait, what? I punched him and it let me ride him. Wait, the way to ride Jax is by punching him. Okay, that is not something you see every day. And now that I have all my potions, I'm fully enchanted, I figured me and Jax would go on the hunt to find Titus the lava stone golem. I'm not gonna lie, me and Jax are getting along pretty cool. I mean, look at this. We are legitimately walking on water. That is something I thought I'd never be able to do, but here I am. And after a little bit of time, Jax and I were climbing this hill, and I noticed that it wasn't a hill. It was actually a volcano with something in the center. I was a little bit scared, but I figured I'd try walking over the lava, and I was actually able to, which I got really lucky with, to be honest. Not sure where this portal leads, but screw it. Let's go. Wait, oh, there we go. Okay, I made it through with Jax, but where the heck am I? What is this place? Oh my gosh, that's Titus.
I see you have your eyes, horse. Wait. Too bad my abilities outmatched you.
Well, if you do the math, it's 2 against 1. Plus, Jax has ice powers, and ice beats lava.
Oh, well, my gauntlet weighs more than you and your horse combined. I doubt you'll stand a chance.
And just like that, I started popping my fire resistance potion, strength, and speed potion in preparation for this battle. I charged in, and good thing I blocked my shield because he smashed the ground, and I managed to get a couple hits on him. After eating some food to regenerate, I charged back in on Titus, and he smashed the ground, which set me on fire and launched me far back. I charged back in for another few hits, and he smashed the ground and started spinning with lava, and I noticed there was a mini volcano that did an insane amount of damage to me. After splashing some potions and regenerating, I charged back in to try to get some more damage, and he nearly killed me, got me below half health, and launched me really far away. While I was eating food, he suddenly charged insanely fast across the entire room. I'm glad that didn't hit me. I made sure to try and keep my distance, and suddenly he threw a giant lava boulder at me, and Swan Dove attacked at me. That was pretty insane. I teleported a little bit to try to get away, and suddenly he charged right at me, but luckily that missed. That probably would have done a lot of damage. I kept my distance using my fireball attacks, and he was throwing boulders that were turning into volcanoes that did insane damage and nearly killed me. I was running away to keep my distance to pop another strength, and I noticed that Jax was actually throwing these white particles at me that was healing me, so thank you for healing me, Jax. I continued shooting him with some fireballs, and then he swanton bombed into the air and smashed the ground, knocking me way back. I thought it was stuck in the wall, and then suddenly it charged with his fist directly at me. Since he was close, I went for a few hits with my staff, and he launched me up in the air, and as soon as I landed, it launched me again, landing on top of 2 volcanoes, which nearly killed me.
Okay, yep, those volcanoes do way too much damage. We gotta be careful.
Since I had no more potions left, I figured this is gonna be my only shot to be able to take down Titus, so I went in for a bunch of hits, and I was able to eliminate Titus the lava stone golem. Then he started shaking and vanished into the abyss. I then looked around and I saw some sort of weird creature that was watching me, and then it started running away. I wasn't sure who or what that thing was, but it dug out the wall and jumped off. When I looked outside, I legitimately didn't even see him. He just like vanished. I was a little curious what these red orb things were, and when I looked up, I saw a chest in the middle, so I used my teleportation ability to get up to the orb. Once I reached the top, I opened the chest and I received a forbidden relic. What the heck is this thing? After Jax and I went back through the portal to the overworld, I really wanted to see what this relic thing did. I hopped off of Jax and right-clicked the relic, and suddenly all these black particles were around me.
Why am I spinning? What's happening?
Is that a demon? What the heck just happened? Where am I? I wonder what 100 days in a demon-only world would be like. I want to give a big shout out to Arts by Kev for creating these custom bosses. Definitely go check out his channel and leave a like if you enjoyed this video. See you in the next one.